Drawing mandalas is one of the most powerfully therapeutic art forms and it produces the most stunning results. Join me on this episode as we start from the basics to create a wonderful addition to your collection. We start off by finding the center of the page, both vertically and horizontally, and marking the point. After that, we will need to take our compass and draw concentric circles. You can take any dimension, but I am starting off with a 3 centimeter radius. After that, I will be using a 3.5 centimeter followed by 4.5 centimeter. After 4.5, I will take 6 centimeter as the radius. Next 6.5 centimeter and 8.5 centimeter for this particular mandala. So we have got several circles, concentric circles. Now what we need to do is we need to take a protractor, keep it right in the center and mark some angles. If you know how to use a protractor, you can keep the center of the protractor to the center of the circle like this and just mark the degrees, okay, very accurately. So it would be 0. You can mark it at 10 degrees. So 10, 20, 30 and so on. You mark all around the circle. In case you are younger and you do not know how to use a protractor, what you can do is use your finger as a measure. So just keep your finger here on top and mark points on either side of the finger and use your finger as the guideline to mark the points. Okay, this also has to be done very accurately, but here you have equal spaces with 1 finger distance. So your finger will have to be turned radially, that is from the center you will have to go outward. So you will have to keep on turning your finger the way a clock's hand would move. Otherwise you can use the protractor, take the help of your parent if you require it. So now I think you can see it here. We have marks all around the circle at intervals of 10 degrees, keeping this dot as the center. Is we have several divisions to divide this 360 degree of the circle into 10 degree portions. So we'll have 36 of them. Now what we can do is we need to join everything to the center. But this center circle is going to be left blank. So keeping your scale from the center to any of the markings which was spaced at 10 degree, we are going to draw lines. Just leave the center blank and start here. So many radii basically, okay, keeping your scale touching the center as well as one of these 10 degree marks. We will draw lines. Just leave the center circle blank, okay, and this would continue all around the circle. In case you were using your finger as the guide, you will follow the same pattern. You will take the center and join it to one of your finger distances and use that to draw the radii. So now in the first row, as you can see, I am drawing one semicircular shape in each of the gaps. This can be done very lightly. Anyway, we will be going over it with ink later on. But anyway, you can just use these as the spaces in which you will draw semicircular petal shapes. In the row above that, I shall draw one leaf shape in between every two of these shapes. So it will be like this. Make it equal on both sides. So there will be these leaf shapes. In between two of the previous semicircle shapes, we will be drawing a leaf shape. Make sure it is equal on both the sides. Like this. And of course this will be continued throughout the mandala. In the row above it, I am going to use two spaces, that is 10 degree plus 10 degree, to draw a larger petal shape. So it is one half in one 10 degree space and the other half in the other 10 degree space. Obviously the second petal is going to overlap, so it is going to be like this. So today I am making one that is overlapping. You needn't overlap it, you can do it separately as well. Continue the entire thing. In a small space like this, where we have left just half a centimeter or so, we can do lines radially. So maybe there will be 3 lines in between each of the 10 degree spaces. And finally, in these larger ones, I wanted to make it like petals once again. So what I will be doing is, in between two of these, we're going to have one. So it will be a larger semicircle like this. Make sure it touches the guidelines for neatness. In between these two, I am going to have these kind of drop shaped petals. And this entire pattern will continue throughout the whole circle. So take your time and enjoy the process. So now the major part of the mandala has been done with pencil. If it is very dark in some places, we could lighten it up by erasing with an eraser, so that we avoid the graphite from smudging and potentially spoiling our artwork. After this, we can use pens, especially black pens, to give outlines here. Now the thickness of the pen would vary based on the design you're planning on. So you could use a thicker pen for wider lines and of course thinner pens for narrow ones. So this could go from even 0.1 to 0.5, 0.6 and so on. Very carefully go over your pencil lines. Be as neat and accurate as possible for the best outcome. So now, whether or not you're going to outline these lines, that is the initial guidelines that we had drawn, the concentric circles, depends entirely on your design. For this design, I feel this circle needs to be outlined, and so I will. Now in this part where we have the overlapping petals, what you do depends entirely on you. So either you could go over all these pencil lines, or you can do it partially. Now I'm thinking of doing something a bit different. So what I will do is go over only some part of the petals. So what I'm going to do is, I'll start not at this tip over here, not here at the base of this concentric circle, but instead in between here, touching the other petal. So it will be like a portion of this side and fully to the right. So just a portion on the left, fully to the right. A portion of the left and fully to the right. Just a portion on the left and so on. So after I'm done with this, I will be outlining this concentric circle. Here what I'll be doing is a small line with a dot on top. So now we can see that the entire ink design is complete and dry. Now what you can do is take a good quality eraser and rub out all the pencil lines. After this we can start adding color. Now to fill up our mandala we can use anything like gel pens, microns, markers, even paints, color pencils, colored gel pens, watercolors, sketch pens. So here I will be using two colors which are close to each other. I will also leave a small highlight white in each of these petal shapes. We'll do these shades for all the petals.